everybody's on the plane. We just lost 3 straight to New York. We're tired. We want to get into Pittsburgh, go to sleep. And Royce is sitting up on his chair screaming at everybody just, to start having some fun.
A few and just show them what's up. But I love that. Also, by the way, in DC,
that's not a joke.
No, exactly. In DC, the broadcasters can't see either. They put us in heaven. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Really? Trust me, it's the worst place to call a game. All right, let's bring in our next guest. It is Griffin Jax from the Minnesota Twins. Got a lot to get to with Griffin. Let's bring him home right now. Griffin, great to have you on. We're going to start actually with a couple of the combos that we were having if we can. We appreciate the time. A fun opposing stadium bullpen to be in. And by fun, it could be an answer like Trevor saying chicken tendies are thrown at him at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I think Philadelphia is kind of insane. They got a gnarly fan base, especially recently. And we were there, I think last year, middle of the week in July on a Wednesday night. And, these 6-year-old girls are just giving it to me. And they're saying some pretty nasty stuff. So that place was insane.
Kratz, they teach them at a young age to really bring your heckle game to Philadelphia.
It's another level up there because they're right on top of you there, and they surround you, and the security guard's like, "Hey, stop saying things to him."
He doesn't care.
That's all they're doing. And playoffs is even worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so next up here, Trevor gave us a sneak peek of the interesting connection that you have with one of our FT hosts. Would you like to describe it? And then Trevor, you can help fill in the blanks.
Sure. You're me. You're the me. You took my spot. And you were number 65 when I left. So he even took my number.
65. Yeah, that's right.
And then started for a bit, and they're like, "Hey, let's see what you got out in the pen." And he's like, "Oh, I got 98 out in the pen." They're like, "That's cool. Try throwing a slider like this thing and 8-9 mile hour sweeper." Sure. And now we got 8th inning, and we're doing the do. I am a little bit disappointed that you changed the number, though. I wanted this to be a, you got to have your own identity. I get it, but I felt a connection, and then we lost it a little bit.
No, that's fair.
And just full disclosure, you were my request for the show, so I want all the credit here because I'm so fascinated by your journey being a starter and then going out and being a reliever. We're seeing guys do this, all over the league. Got Mason Miller this year, Luke Weaver. What he's doing is really impressive. So, question 1: what do you think was the thing that was easiest for you in that transition? What do you think was the most natural part about transitioning into be a reliever?
Just being on the rotation, or being in the rotation, you have that pretty solid routine. And I hated it. I hated having something specific to do every single day when I came to the field. So I think the best part about going to the bullpen was there's no routine. You just show up every single day ready to pitch.
That's cool.
Love it. I love that so much. That is I'm the same. I told you, you're me.
Yeah.
So I got to follow up real quick. You were with Wes Johnson for a little bit, right? And then Pete Maki since. And I was there with both those guys as well. Pete was our bullpen coach at the time. What's the biggest thing? Give me like one big thing that either Wes or Pete has given you that you think has kind of helped you develop into the pitcher you are right now.
Yeah, they're two separate pitching coaches. Wes was more of the bulldog mentality, just get the job done. He didn't care how you did it as long as you did it. And Pete's more, methodical, thought process, analytical based. So I like to take parts from both of them. Wes being the competitor on the mound, Pete being more like, how do we dive into getting this guy out and putting the odds back in our favor? So I like to think that we do a little bit of both, and you need a little bit of both, especially in today's game. So definitely learned a lot from both of them.
I like it. All right, I'm going to take you back to the, it's troubling times, but Twins-Yankees series. Do you feel like there's actually something, on this org? And can you describe what that is? Because I know that Minnesota had a tough time with the Yanks in the regular season series this year, and you're smiling. So do you guys talk about it? Because it goes back so far, especially, playoff wise, that, most of your teammates probably maybe weren't even born, honestly. But your thoughts?
I mean, I wouldn't even say it's really acknowledged in the clubhouse. Everybody knows what's going on. It's kind of the same thing with our playoff streak last year. Like, that was the first question everybody, grilled us on with the media when we showed up to play the Blue Jays in the wild card. They're like, are you guys aware of the 20-something game losing streak you guys have had in the playoffs? And again, a lot of us weren't either born or hadn't been playing in the pros since the time that had been started. So it's just a piece of information, I guess. They're a very good organization. They do things right. I think it's just a little bit of luck and a coincidence that they're doing this against us, but we'll see. The next time we play them will probably be in the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see what that matchup's like.
What did you see from them this year? Because I want to reiterate, I don't think you're saying that it was luck that they beat you. It was just luck for 20 years that the rivalry has been that way. But what did you see from that team when they did beat you?
Yeah, and they're a very good team, up and down. They got an obvious top four in their lineup that's pretty hard to beat throughout the rest of the league. And then they got a second half of the lineup that will help turn it over to the top. Soto obviously makes a huge impact on that lineup up and down, and they protect him well with Judge and Stanton and Volpe at top. So they're a pretty good lineup, pretty good complete lineup. And then their rotation, their starters have been shoving all year. Rodon, Stroman, Clark Schmidt before he got hurt, and now you add Garrett Cole to the mix. It's a very good team.
When you're in the minor leagues for the Twins, do you talk to any of the minor leaguers and say, like, look, if you don't throw 100, if you don't have something wipe out, you're not coming to this bullpen? Or is it something that is not discussed and it's just like, we have this locked down? Because every single dude that's called up has just unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, I think it's just where the game's at right now. Teams are not drafting or really giving much thought to guys that don't have that ability. And I'm not going to say that you need to have it to get to the bigs, because I didn't have it when I first got there. I was more of a pitchability guy, throw strikes, get hitters to off balance, that kind of stuff. But I've just learned how to do it since. So not everybody's path is the same. But I think our bullpen 2 years ago was maybe 3 years ago was one of the smallest velos in the league. But now, we got Duran. I'll call us back throwing upper nines. Brock Stewart, when he's healthy, can get it up there. I've shown it a handful of times. So it's pretty impressive. But when you look up and down the league, everybody's doing it.
Can you give us an insight of what happened to the summer sausage?
I think they left it somewhere. It got to the point where it was just disgusting. You could smell it.
It smelled like the packaging had opened up and you could smell it?
It was just something that had fermented for over the course of a couple months, and it had traveled multiple states, and it was starting to seep through the packaging a little bit. And it was hot outside, we're in the middle of the summer, and that thing just started getting nasty.
You seem like you're not about it. You seem like
I'm glad it's gone. Yeah,
get rid of that thing, please.
That's right.
You're glad it's gone. What about Royce Lewis? Okay, so I have been absolutely blown away with this guy. He's now officially has 81 games. I think it's his pace for a full season is 55 homers and 160 ribbies or something. What has he meant to you guys? And he's hitting tons of homers. Are you playing the homer game out there where you pick someone to click for the day? Because if we used to do that, and I know who I would choose every single day.
Oh, for sure. Well, back to the first question. Royce just brings a spark back to this lineup and a spark back to this team. Regardless of what he does at the plate, just the energy he has that brings to the clubhouse is just contagious, and he gets everybody on their feet and then makes sure everybody gives their best that single day. So we were actually flying home from New York a couple weeks ago. It's 2 a.m. going to Pittsburgh, and we had a little bit of a delay, and everybody's on the plane. We just lost 3 straight to New York. We're tired. We want to get into Pittsburgh, go to sleep. And Royce is sitting up on his chair screaming at everybody just, to start having some fun and let loose a little bit. So it's the kind of guy he is. But we are playing the game in the bullpen. I've been on an absolute chill of just making the wrong calls at the wrong time. Every time I throw, it's either double play or just an inning, just complete sack. So I'm not allowed to play right now.
Oh, no.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Have they kicked you out? Have you thrown your hat? Do you guys throw the hat in, or do you put it on the bench or something?
Just toss it.
You got to throw it out. It's got to be on the ground first.
Throw it out.
It's got to hit the ground first. Yeah.
Standard game. As soon as you throw it, do people jump on it like it's a fumble and just get your hat and put it back on? Are you that much of a cooler right now?
No, they should. I mean, with just the streak that I've been on, it's been insane.
We'll stop
trying
it.
to speed the game up. You're trying to speed the game up. I get
it. Yeah, I want to go home.
Yes.
All right, Griffin, I got one for you. I know you mentioned the Velo in the bullpen. It's going to sound weird asking this, but is Duran okay? Because I think his Velo's down a little. It's still worlds ahead of just about everyone else. But I'm sure you guys talk about it in the bullpen where, what is it? It's I'm going to 103 and now it's 101 or whatever, right? It's down a tick or two. Is he okay?
Yeah, the guy's great. I mean, just his work ethic's unbelievable. Shows up the field. It's very impressive for someone his age and for the success he's already had in the bigs to keep doing it every single day. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely good. He's not shy about it. It's talked about here and there. I'm sure it's on a lot more people's minds outside of the clubhouse than it is inside the clubhouse, because it's kind of crazy talking about a velo decrease when the guy's still averaging over 100 miles an hour. But that's what happens when you show 103 consistently last year. But the guy's got such weapons that even if he's down a tick or two, he's still getting outs at a pretty incredible pace.
It happens. Yeah, you lose Velo, you don't keep it forever. I want to try something new with you, Griffin, and I want to know how well you know yourself. So I'm about to ask you 3 questions, and I want to see if you can tell me you get it right about your own career. All right.
All right.
I have a bunch of stats up here, and it's funny. Some guys do this, some guys don't. Some guys, I knew all this stuff. Do you know statistically what your best inning that you pitch in terms of the game? What number of inning? What inning is your best inning?
Oh man, is it the 8th?
It's the 8th by a lot. You have a 1-7 career in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
So this guy's pitching in the correct inning. What is your best month?
I want to say it's June. I want to say it's June.
It is June. June.
Yeah.
You have a 2.9 career in June. So we're pretty good. 2 for 2 on knowing yourself. But this is a big one. This one might trip you up. This is kind of a doozy.
Yep.
What days of rest do you pitch best? So back-to-back days, 1 day rest, 2 days rest, 3 days rest.
I got to think 2 days rest, pitching on that 3rd day.
It's 1 day rest, and it ain't even close. You have a 2 ERA when you have 1 day of rest between your outings. And, it's it's still a 2.8 everywhere else, but it's much better with 1 day rest. And that's fascinating to me because it varies wildly from guy to guy. For example, Adam Ottavino, 3 days rest. He is unhittable. Me, back-to-back for some reason. The second day was always my best day, and that makes no sense if you think about it.
I mean, that's impressive, though, for the bullpen.
Hey, 2 for 3, though. I'll give it to you. The first 2 were tough, too, so good job.
That was great. Yeah, you got a lot of months to choose from, too. So a follow-up to that is, what do you talk to not just the coaching staff, but the analytics team or the ops, whatever you want to call it, right behind the scenes? Does it go that in depth on that side, or is it more about pitch mix, effectiveness, stuff like that? Would you actually have a conversation and go, hey, just FYI, 1 day rest? I'm probably your guy.
I hope that goes without saying. I think everybody kind of understands. You get a day off here and there, the better you're going to be. But no, yeah, I mean, our conversations are pretty straightforward. Before the series, we'll go through the scout or the lineup and just we'll figure out where our windows are going to be, and we do a pretty good job of identifying those windows and sticking to them.
I like it. All right, question for you about the rest of the division. Are you surprised at how strong it's been at the top, and do you feel like it was getting dumped on by national media? We can raise our hands too. We thought you guys would be good. We're good there. I mean, that makes sense. The team, won the division, went into the playoffs. Did you see Kansas City and Cleveland at this spot right now?
I'll be honest, no. I mean, Cleveland, they are very solid and very fundamentally sound. So you knew they were going to put together some really good baseball. But at the pace they're doing it and the consistency they're doing it throughout the first 3 months of the season, it's been very impressive to watch. Kansas City, though, you could see pieces from them for the past year or two. Their young guys are now in their second and third years in the bigs. With that many at-bats, and you could see that their lineup was starting to put it together. And we've always just said, they get some good quality pitching. They're gonna make some real noise. And I think that's kind of been their heel a little bit this year has been, I want to say their bullpen. But the division as a whole has been very good. And, a lot of guys throughout the league will tell you that the Central for the past few years had been, sort of weird, whereas you don't want to come into the series and not give us any attention, because if you just knock us and say, we're playing the Tigers today, we're playing the Royals, whatever, they're going to put up 8 on you, and you're going to look back in the 6th inning and be like, where did that come from all of a sudden? So it's a very quick division in the sense that if you just don't give them the same amount of attention as, the Dodgers, Yankees, some of those bigger teams, that they can put up some runs pretty quick.
Do you notice an approach change with Cleveland this year? Because their players and coaching staff have talked a lot about it. They've talked about it on this show. But, I mean, it's still hard for most fans to grasp. Like, what? You just decided you're going to, hit with more slug? Welcome to the party.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the one part of the game that they weren't really doing the past couple of years. They were going to beat you with their singles. They were going to put the ball in play, small ball, all the things that, some other teams aren't really focusing on. So they were pesky in that sense. But now the fact that they're hitting homers all of a sudden, like it's not fun for the opposing team.
All right, so Paul Skenes made his debut. Do you consider Paul Skenes an Air Force alum or not?
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, with what he says about his time there and how he carries himself and, the foundations he's working with and just the respect he has for the place is like he graduated. And, you have to take him at his word with what he says he wants to do post-career. I hope he plays long enough and he makes enough money where he doesn't need to go back and serve. I think that's just the guy he is. But, yeah, I do consider him an alum.
Nice. All right, Griffin. I've done a few of your games over the years, and there was a weird note on you forever, and I got to ask you. It said you hate the taste of water, and we've mentioned it a couple of times. So how do you hate the taste of water? Because I've always wanted to ask you, and so please tell me.
I think it's, the tastelessness of water probably, but it's been in the back of my head for my entire life. It's always been something I've been anxious about, growing up playing sports. What's going to be in the Gatorade cooler? It's not going to be Gatorade. It's going to be water. And it's a funny story. Like when I was in basic training at the Air Force Academy, they used to give us these canteens, and we're doing some pretty gnarly physical stuff in the middle of the mountains and on campus at the Air Force in the middle of the summer, and it's hot outside. And I just wouldn't drink anything. I would just like almost dehydrate myself. So they'd line us up in these hallways. We'd be facing each other, just grilling us, just treating us like basic cadets, basically. And they'd make us hold out our canteens and to show that we've been hydrating throughout the day. And you would have to dump it and pour it. And if there was anything left, you had to do more physical activity. And of course, the hallway's silent. I'm facing, a couple other kids my age, and everybody got so mad at me because they knew I didn't drink the canteen, and I would be the only one pouring out an entire gallon worth of water out of my canteen. And because of that, my entire unit would have to get more physical activity, more push-ups, sit-ups, running, all that stuff. So they hated me because of that.
Did they do anything to you? Because they can't hit you with a pitch or anything like that. So what was their retaliation?
I mean, it was just a bunch of groans and like, this guy's kidding, you know? Like, I didn't make a lot of friends because of that.
That's wild. I didn't know how that worked. Now, it's like it's a weird connection to water, but good to know.
For sure.
Yeah, Griffin, this was
Does
awesome.
it freak you out when other people drink water? Like does this
no,
freak
I mean,
you out?
It's out of the faucet.
So tasteless.
Yeah.
Oh, Trevor, it's so tasteless.
Cruel. Griffin, thank you, dude. This was awesome. Great way to finish the combo. Yeah. Hey, we do things a little weird on here. But appreciate the time, dude. Really great having you on the show. Keep doing your thing with Minnesota, and I would love to have you back sometime.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. It was a blast.
NASCAR appearance that FT will be doing. I got a question in the chat. They were like, why are you saying get your tickets now at NASCARChicago.com? I thought it's a baseball show. I'm like, it is, but we're going to do a special FT live from Chicago with AJ Kipp and Alana Rizzo. And it's really soon. It's in like a week and a half.
Well, we are not. Me is, because you guys all didn't want to come to Chicago.
That's
I get
not
it.
true.
I get it. You guys are from the north. You guys don't really understand NASCAR. It's not your fault. But
didn't get invited.
Well, I can't control that either. Talk to
That is true. Kratz was available.
Alana, Kip, and myself are going to be in Chicago July 7th for NASCAR Chicago, the street race. It's really cool. They race right through Millennium Park right there, right by the Bean. Everyone can get their picture with the Bean. And we are going to be there doing a live FT show on a Sunday. Yeah, I know we got to work on a Sunday, but it is pre-NASCAR race. So come out and see us. Come say hi. And you never know what Kip might say or what I might say or what Alana might do, but it's going to be a fun time. And afterwards, after the race over, we can go out in the Kratz's boat and go in the playpen there in Chicago and have a good old time.
Wow. That sounds like a nice little weekend. All right. Well, I'll be watching from long distance. But again, you can get your tickets now at NASCARChicago.com.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.